Hi, welcome to my work cubicle. Give you guys a little spatial orientation there. So I chose my work cubicle because of the peace and quiet. Since it's Saturday, no one's here. So for my presentation today, I wanted to talk to you about the Associated British Ports. And I had never heard of them before. And when I was looking for a company that had a business continuity plan and got through a major disaster and tweaked their plan so that way they could be better prepared for something else in the future, I came across this company. So here's a little bit about them, since, like I said, I didn't know anything about them either, and this is a little bit about them and their history. Their role in the United Kingdom: they are the largest port operator, and they have 21 ports, with Immingham, the port that I wanted to talk about today, being the largest one. They handle approximately 92 million British tons of cargo per year. There's a difference between British and US tons. British tons are 2,240 pounds and the US tons are 2,000 pounds. So 92 million times 2,240, it's a lot of cargo. And they also support about 84,000 jobs for the Britons. They comprise 25% of UK rail weight and contribute 5.6 billion pounds to the UK economy. So they're a pretty big deal over there, you know? And a history on them: I chose this company because they are a private organization. I don't know, coming from like a United States mindset, to me, at first they sounded like they were part of the government, but they're not. So part of their history: they were first owned by rail and canal companies, and then these companies were nationalized in 1947, and they became joined together and named British Transport Docks Board. And that was a government entity at that time in 1947. However, it didn't last too long, 40 years, 30 years. In 81, the Conservative government under Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher implemented the Transport Act of 1981, and that privatized and then renamed the British Transport Docks Board into the Associated British Ports. They grew a little bit bigger and expanded their business from just the port, dealing with ships and cargo containers, to buying Hams Hall Rail Terminal. So they own that as well. Even though they are a private organization, they are considered as part of the UK's critical national infrastructure. And because of their key role in the supply chain there, of course they have a business continuity plan. In 2013, an East Coast tidal surge flooded the largest port, which is Immingham. And that interrupted the supply chain, to include their coal and biomass fuels that they use in their power plants. So that was a showstopper right there. Flooding also affected 2 of their other crucial ports, and so that's 3 out of their 21 ports that they own and operate that were flooded. Because of the weather trends in the year leading up to the flood, their contingency plans and emergency response and so forth, those were ramped up a bit. One of the storms that happened in October, I guess they named their storms over there too, and that one was called St. Jude. They actually learned quite a bit about that, and so again, their flood rescue response recovery moving assets and protecting them, evacuating the area, discussing emergency plans when a storm warning would come out, is all things that happened due to these trending weather patterns. So that crisis that happened, they responded to that well. They had, you know, their business continuity plan and so forth that was in place helped them through that. What I wanted to also talk about was them mitigating for the future, their post-crisis, their after action, you know, what should we do now? They explored some areas such as, hey, we could, you know, move our cargo out of Immingham if there was going to be a storm warning to affect that area. And that option was rendered not feasible because it would be like a logistical nightmare, because that's a lot of cargo to move out of an area in such a short amount of time. So they partnered with several government agencies, the Environmental Agency, the Northeast Lincolnshire Council, and their lead local flood agency. All of these agencies and ABP got together. They drafted all of their conclusions from the disaster that just happened, and then they put all of that in a request for funding for flood prevention construction on locking gates. And they said, hey, our engineers have checked this out. If we build these locking gates to be higher and stronger brace specifications, then we can actually prevent floods from entering the ports and damaging everything and shutting us down for weeks. So that was awarded to them. That was 3.6 million pounds of a grant for construction on these locking gates, and those gates were completed in 2017.